Well, good morning, everybody. It is time for episode 8 of the Duck Chronicles, and of course, as soon as I got ready to shoot this, everybody decided it was nap time. And I think the reason everybody decided it was nap time is because everybody's up partying hardy all night long. I think they're being irresponsible little ducks. I've got their heat lamps back there, and that puts out enough light, even with the red lights in here, that it doesn't really get dark. And if it doesn't get super cold tonight, I think I'll just turn their little heater on and shut those lights down. So maybe everybody will go to sleep so they can get big and strong and grow up by sleeping through the night. Now, it's not totally unusual. Ducks don't do what chickens do. Anybody that's kept chickens knows it gets dark, the chicken just, bloof, he's done. And you go into a chicken coop at night, and you can just like pick a chicken up. You can move. They just don't react at all. My adult ducks are awake most of the night. When I come out, I see them. They're wandering around. Sometimes they're partying. But babies usually do sleep pretty good through the night. But we're taking a nap today because we didn't sleep last night, did we? I came out here about, I guess it was almost 11 o'clock right before bed to check on everybody, and everybody was up doing head spins and breakdancing all over the place. So what's the big news today? Well, one, the ducks have found what I'm calling Mount Duck. That's the straw bale that I'm pulling from to put down a new layer for them every day, and some of them started climbing up in there. They've actually started to tear it apart. They'll have to move over to that one soon because it'll be gone. What are you doing over there? Got two little guys over there by themselves. Anyway, big news today, new watering solution. I've got the watering bucket set up for them, just like I use for my quail. These are basically, you just drill a hole in a bucket, and you screw one of these in. This is a poultry watering cup, I guess they call it, made by a company called Beak Time. And the way it works is when they peck that little valve right there, it lets water come down and fill that cup, and they'll just figure it out. I put that in there today. I was like, I hope they figured it out quick. They figured it out I dropped it and scared them. They figured it out pretty daggone quick, and they were using it. You might wonder why I didn't go to that right away. Okay, well, what we have here is 5 gallons of water in each bucket. About 4 gallons is accessible. You can see that it's about an inch up off of the bottom of the bucket so that the cup will clear the bottom of the floor. So there is a certain amount of water they can't get to in there. And if you're using these, it's important. You know, if they're draining them daily or using them for like chickens on pasture or something, that's fine. Just refill and refill. But about once a week at least, you should really take the lid off and hose them out and clean them out, because that water that's in the bottom, even though it gets some turnover, it can start to go off and get a little funky. So at least once a week, every 2 weeks, clean out your buckets for your birds, no matter what kind of birds you have. And but this will give them a lot more longevity with water. And it's necessary right now because when I come in the morning and fill these things, it's really hard not to step on everybody. And it's really getting to the point where they're going to start hurting each other because like one's got its head in there and all the other ones are piling on. They got to get to the water. But the reason I didn't go to buckets from day one is 4 gallons of water for these guys is like an unlimited supply of water. And you're asking a 2 or 3 day old duck to be responsible with an unlimited supply of water. And you know how important it is to keep them dry. Well, that little cup, they can't climb in there, but they can certainly get themselves wet in there. And when they're on that first, attack the water momentum, that can be an issue. So if you see, I left them 2 of their old metal feeders that I use as waterers. That's good because ducks do need to get their head into water at least a few times a week, even when they're little. It's important for their grooming and their upkeep that they be able to get their heads wet. They don't actually really have to bathe, but they have to get their heads wet, absolutely, even little bitty baby ducks. So what I'll probably do is, as soon as I'm sure everybody's figured out the water cups, I will go ahead and remove those, and maybe once or twice a week I'll come in here and fill them up and let them, stick their heads in there and all until they're ready to be able to actually bathe and things like that. What that'll let me do, though, is put 2 buckets on one poop water catcher and clean the other one out, and then just move them over and reduce the number of times I have to do that. The other thing I can do then is no matter how much water they get, when they see those metal things getting full and they know they can shove their heads in there, it's duck melee. So what I can do is remove the buckets, set a few of those up on one side, fill them up for them, and when everybody's over here freaking out and having a party, I can lift that one up and clean that one out with a lot less likelihood that I'm going to squish one of you little guys by stepping on you, because everybody's decided that the giant's feet are fun to play with. But that's what we're up to today, guys. Again, the company that makes these is called Beak Time, I believe. I'll see if I can find a link for you guys. I need to pick some more of these up anyway. But they are my preferred watering solution for quail, for chickens, and for baby ducks. Adult ducks will abuse the hell out of these things, and they'll like climb on them and break them. So they don't really work for adult ducks at all, but they're good for your smaller birds and chickens. We also found out that turkeys, once they're about 6 weeks or so of age, will destroy these things. But they work good for turkey poults up to about 6 to 8 weeks. And then as they get bigger, they'll just stand on them and snap them off. So anyway, it's a real easy process to set your watering buckets up. You notice they have lids on them, but the lids are not completely locked down. That way there's not a vacuum formed and the water can get down. I just basically clip one little clip on each side and leave the middle open on those. Very important that you put lids on these. It'd be hard for them, but it's possible that one of them could somehow get in the bucket. In the quail aviary, we had one of our help one time put a bucket in there and fought to put a lid on it, and the next day I found a drowned quail that flew, landed in the bucket, and managed to drown itself. So always keep lids on your buckets. Enjoy the ducks hanging out on Mount Duck over there, the eroding, shrinking mountain. And we'll catch up with you guys tomorrow with episode 9.